Welcome to Daily Focus. I am so glad that you are joining me this morning. Yesterday, I was pouring cement here at the church and so was not able to join with you. But we're going to be looking at a familiar story, but sometimes I think we miss the driving principle. And I don't know about you, but it gets wearisome dealing with people who are trying to catch you in something. They're trying to trap you in something. And Jesus is, obviously God, and so he has a huge advantage over us in that he can see the heart. We can only guess at somebody's motivation, and that's dangerous. But wow, is it not frustrating when you feel like people are asking you questions just to start an argument, asking you questions just to try to catch you, in something instead of just genuinely conversing with you or striving to get to know honestly? You always have to be wondering, what is it that they're really asking? What is it that they really want? And no doubt our president, Donald Trump, has had his fair share of that, along with many other politicians, as news people try to create their own story or try to, you know, get you in that moment where they can expose you because they think that that's their job. How sad that our world has gotten to that place where to manipulate or to get the upper hand, we try to catch people. I've always said if you follow anybody long enough, you will find that they have done something wrong. You follow me around long enough in a car, you will find that I go over the speed limit, and that's just the harsh reality of all of us. And why would we want to do that? What would be the driving force for that? And so we find in Matthew chapter 22, starting in um, verse number 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. So here these people meet together for one reason. They meet together that they might figure out, how do we catch this guy in hypocrisy? How do we catch this guy, uh, you know, talking out of both sides of his mouth? How do we get some information that we can then misrepresent? Or how do we ask a question to get an answer that we can make it sound like this, that we might entangle him? How wicked, how frustrating, how wrong. And so, two things I would say right off the bat: don't be that kind of person. Just determine, I'm not going to be that kind of person with anybody. I'm not going to be that way for sure with my friends, and I shouldn't be that way with my enemies. I don't appoint myself to be the gotcha person that would just feed my own ego that I was the one to do it. And so this is wicked right off the bat in verse number 15. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. In other words, here's this ego building. We know that you're a man of God. We know that you're the great teacher of truth. We know that you don't have respect of persons. You're not here catering to any group of people or being controlled by any individual. You're just a great person. Can I also say, beware of the people who want to flatter you the most? And listen, people ought to be able to compliment you, but when the flattery is over the top or it comes out of nowhere, you better just kind of be a little careful as to where that's coming from. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought him unto him a penny, and he saith unto them, Who is the image and subscription? And they said unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. And when they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. Uh, Jesus taught us how to handle them. One, answer their questions with questions. And questions prick the heart, accusations harden the will. Now, he does use an accusation here. Why tempt you me, you hypocrites? I mean, he makes it very clear that he sees right through their agenda. He sees right through what it is that they want, and he's not going to play, right? He's not going to fall into it. Boy, wouldn't it be wonderful if God would just give us a holy discernment to be able to discern through people's agendas uh, like that. We don't have, the same ability. And to guess is sometimes dangerous. We don't want to guess at somebody's motivation. But yet at the same time, sometimes when things are just out of the blue, they're out of the ordinary, they're over the top, you can begin to utilize a little wisdom and discretion to be careful with that person. And so Jesus says unto them, listen, just bring me a penny. Who's on it? Well, then give unto Caesar the things that are his, but give unto God the things that are God's. You don't have to mix them. You don't have to confuse them. It's kind of like in our world where they have said, let's separate out the church and government. You can't do that. You can't separate religion and government. The very fact that we have been called by God to be salt and light in the world includes that we would be salt and light in every institution that he has created. We would be salt and light in our family. We'd be salt and light in our church. We'd be salt and light in the government. That's just facts. That's just who we are. That's what we've been called to do. You can't separate these out. There's no way to distinguish between how you're going to influence culture by taking away the segment or the institution of government. Impossible. And Jesus is saying the same thing here. Listen, you want to separate it out. You want to say that you don't have to pay taxes because you're a Christian. You want to play the game that you're not of this world, that you're a citizen of another world. And so why should you pay taxes? That's baloney. You live in this world, you steward the responsibilities in this world. And so the things that are Caesar's, render under him. And then the things that are God. If they ever conflict, then you always side with God. But you don't create your way to avoid your stewardship with man. And so just a little reminder, be careful for people that come out of nowhere or over the top or misrepresented flattery, and be careful with the questions that they're asking because of what it is that they are trying to catch you in. And utilize Jesus's strategy to simply use questions to expose the agenda that they have, and don't fall into the trap. God bless you. I hope you have a great